According to the international donor support, the Global Environmental Facility, many small island environments share sustainable development challenges. Among the challenges are rapid growing populations, a constantly rising number of tourists, limited freshwater resources, and a fragile marine ecosystem. An example of how the growing human activities impact the local ecosystem is the discharge of untreated wastewater into coastal areas. This also applies to Zanzibar. Zanzibar coastal community largely depends on marine resources for supporting local livelihoods. Over 30% of the country's GDP depends on marine-based economy, including tourism industry and fishing. However, there is unprecedented coastal degradation due to diversified factors including a close population density with 535 people per square kilometer compared to the Tanzanian mainland with 45 people per square kilometer. Zanzibar is among the top 3 densely populated countries in Africa. There is a mushrooming of beach resorts along the course of the island. Furthermore, there is no treatment facilities for municipal waste, which are directly disposed to the coastal environment synergistically overwhelming the ecosystem health capacity of the coastal and marine ecosystem around Zanzibar. Islands. Zanzibar has a population of 1.3 million, and despite a decrease in the fertility rate, the population is expected to increase with about 3% per year. Similarly, the number of incoming tourists is expected to increase significantly. From the 2016 figure of 378,000 arrivals in 1985, only 50 hotel beds were available at the coast. In 2007, there were close to 8,000, and by 2017 the numbers had increased to roughly 15,000 beds. A study from 2012 found that almost 60% of more than the 200 hotels on the island were built closer to the sea than accepted by national regulation. No sustainable solutions such as large-scale sewage treatment plants have yet been developed to manage the wastewater generated in Zanzibar. Figures from 2010 indicate that around 9 to 12,000 cubic meters of untreated or poorly treated wastewater is disposed directly into the sea per day, and today that volume will be even greater. The number of cargo ships entering Malindi port in Stone Town has more than doubled from 2007 to 2014, carrying bottled water, vegetables and other food items from the mainland Tanzania. Yet another example of human pressure on the marine ecosystem comes from the increasing demand for protein and high-value fisheries products. The volume of fish landed by the fisheries industry has increased continuously over the past decade as shown here. Zanzibar is very fortunate from the nature's point of view, that it's a system that gets flushed 2 times every day. You have the tides coming in and cleaning the area. So it's basically very nutrient poor and clean. And that is basically the reason why things have not gone much worse than they have. The beaches are beautiful, the water is clear, and it's not so evident that they have pollution. But still, it's quite obvious that many places in the coastal system, like in the nearest shore regions around the island, that you have seagrass beds which are not doing well. They are overgrown by fast-growing algae. There are areas where the corals are really not doing well. You have mangroves which have become partly destroyed by human development, and some of the waters are obviously not as clear as they should be. One research team conducted a water quality baseline survey around the island in 2015. As expected, the level of nutrients, chlorophyll concentrations and coliform bacteria were high in the waters close to the densely populated city of Stone Town, resulting most likely from the significant wastewater discharge. Surprisingly, the levels of coliform bacteria off the northern and northeastern part of the island were even higher than around Stone Town, suggesting a strong impact from large resorts located along the coastline. In coastline areas, there's absolutely no management of the sewage. So local sources have huge impact. And if they're not managed properly, then they can provide substantial problems. The problems not only impact the marine environment but also carries a risk to human health. Contamination of the coastal marine environment by sewage increased the risk of infectious diseases including diarrhea and cholera. These can be obtained by activities such as swimming or consuming seafood. Pathogenic bacteria in wastewater can survive in the sea from 1 day to several weeks. And viruses can survive in water, fish, or shellfish for even months. The high levels of nutrients in the water may also increase human exposure to toxins connected with algae blooms. Depending on its source, sewage may also contain a range of chemicals, heavy metals, medical waste, and oil products. These results in additional risk to human health. Although the impacts are very difficult to assess. In 2006 the government of Zanzibar required hotels to manage their own sewage properly. But this rule seems to be widely ignored. And since there is no official sewage treatment planned on Zanzibar, the vast majority of hotels use septic tanks or discharge sewage directly into the sea. Marine litter that is really a huge issue. You cannot go anywhere along the beaches where you do not see plastic debris, wood debris, any kind of construction debris. We did a survey along some 100-meter stretches of beaches, using international standards for this, and sorted out all the different types of litter, and there was a lot of plastic. Instead of being biologically degraded to metabolism, plastic is simply divided into smaller and smaller polymer chains by the effect of UV sunlight. Overall, tourism and hospitality management need to be sustainable as there are continuously rising problems.